Hi, hello, how are you? I hope you're doing well. You already know what today's video is about based on the thumbnail and the title. But yes, I am going to attempt my very first 24-hour readathon. Disclaimer, you're not going to see me stay up all night. That's something you will never see on this channel, unfortunately. I'm just going to spend a whole day dedicated to reading because I have nothing else planned, and see how much I can realistically read in a 24-hour span. And since it's officially August, which in the literature world is known as Women in Translation Month, so I thought it would be really fun if we can combine these two things together. I have a few books on my shelves that I've been meaning to get to that are written by women and translated into English from other languages, of course. So here's my TBR. I have 7 books here. I know, I don't expect to read 7 of these in 24 hours, but I'm a big mood reader. I want options at all times. So we have The Iliac Crest by Cristina Rivera Garza. This is translated from the Spanish by Sarah Booker. And then we have Elena Knows by Claudia Pinheiro. This is translated by Frances Riddle from also Spanish. And then we have 2 by Japanese authors. This is All the Lovers in the Night by Miko Kawakami, translated from Japanese by Sam Bett and David Boyd. And then the other one, The Housekeeper and the Professor by Yoko Ogawa, translated from the Japanese by Stephen Snyder. And this is Paradais by Fernanda Melchor, translated by Sophie Hughes. This is a very short little book, but I've heard that it's going to be a very wild ride, so I might save that for a little bit later in the day when I'm feeling tired, and hopefully the wildness of this can wake me up. Another wild one is Jawbone by Monica Ojeda, translated by Sarah Booker. So Sarah Booker translated both this one and The Iliac Crest. This author is from Ecuador, and I think she just came out with a new release, so I'm excited to get into this. And last on our TBR, we have It Would Be Night in Caracas by Karina Sainz-Borgo, and this is translated from Spanish by Elizabeth Breyer. So these are the books that we may or may not get to in this video. It is currently 9:41. I'm going to make myself a coffee and we can start the challenge at 10 a.m.
How could I forget that day? It's burned into my memory, and it won't ever leave. And how could I forget the way you looked at me like an enemy? Oh, I could barely breathe.
Hello, it is a little past noon now, and I thought I'd update you on Elena Knows while I make my bagel. I realized that I was also eating bagels in the last reading vlog. I swear I eat a lot of other things. I just happen to be eating bagel in both of my reading vlogs. So we have entered hour 3 of our readathon. By hour, I mean my, because you're not doing it. And I have just hit the 100-page mark of Elena Knows. I have like 40 pages left. It's a very short book, and I'm loving it a lot. It is so good. It is definitely a book that's perfect for a Saturday afternoon when you have nothing else to do and you want to finish a book in one sitting. Also, I apologize for the switching back and forth in lighting. But in this one, we follow Elena, who's this woman in her 60s. She was diagnosed of Parkinson's 2 weeks before her daughter's death. Her daughter Rita was found dead in the church. Everyone said she hanged herself and there's nothing to investigate. But Elena knows that her daughter would not kill herself. So she is dragging her out of control body to go on this trip to find someone she can ask questions. And we've been learning a lot about the mother-daughter relationship between Elena and Rita. It's a very complex but very realistic relationship between them. They irritate each other very, very much, and they say hurtful things to each other all the time. But the bond between them, the kind of love they have for each other is undeniable. And also, I think the author did such a wonderful job in describing the helplessness of having a body that you cannot control anymore. And Elena's time is not measured by the clock anymore. It's more about what time she takes her pills, how long it takes to get the chemicals working in her system, and how long that'll last her to be able to move her body until she has to take the next pill again. And all the description of her trying to get up from the bench and catch the train and trying to rush, but not being able to, and how she is treated by everyone around her. It just feels so real. And on top of this, she is still investigating her daughter's death. And she has also been questioning a lot about God, religion, life, and what she is now that her body is not hers anymore. Can she still be a mother when she doesn't have a kid anymore? It's a lot of little things that are building up, and it kind of made me emotional. So I'm going to eat these bagels and then I'll finish reading this book.
Things would get better, but it's taking forever. Will we ever be the same? Why does this feel so wrong? I said goodbye, but I can't move on, and I'm the only one to blame, and that's why.
I finished this. I feel like I need to sit with it for a second. It's a lot to process. Okay, I officially finished Elena Knows. This is so good. The last 40 pages really unpacked a lot of issues. It ended up being a story of 3 women. This character Elena went to find turned out to be an important character on her own. This explores so much about what it means to be a mother, what it means to be alive, and how the Catholic dogma constrains and changes the life of the women. The ending really got me tear up. I felt so powerless. In the last 40 pages, we went from Elena knows to Elena doesn't know. As we unfold what happened in their past, Elena kind of started to unlearn everything that she thought she knew about her daughter, herself, or other people. And so we see the very vulnerable Elena at the very end, and it just made me so emotional. This was so well written. The story was very well crafted. I loved this. So with that, we have finished our first book in our 24-hour readathon. It is almost 2 o'clock. That one took me a little longer than I expected, but I'm glad I took my time with it. I annotated a lot of pages. I think now I want something a little bit lighter. So, I am going to start The Housekeeper and the Professor. I hope this is not as sad as that one.
And it won't ever leave. how could I forget the way you looked at me like an enemy? Oh, I could barely breathe.
I made it a little over halfway through this book, and I've really been enjoying it. This is about a math professor who suffers from memory loss as a result of a car accident 30 years ago. So everything before that accident he can remember, but everything afterwards he only has 80 minutes of memory. And our narrator, the housekeeper, has to reintroduce herself and her son over and over again. But they connected over math. The professor is truly passionate about numbers. He's super sensitive about any number that you may mention to him. And the housekeeper and her son really enjoy learning from him. This is like catnip for me. I used to be such a math nerd. In middle school and high school, I used to buy these math problem books to solve just for fun on top of my math homework. So I understand him. Math is beautiful. I can totally understand his obsession. And the connection and friendship that is developing among the three of them has been so sweet, so wholesome. But I decided to put this down for now. I do not have much wholesomeness in my book selection. So I kind of want to save the second half for a little bit later after I get attacked by my other books. And then this could be a fresh breeze. And now I feel like I have entered this stage of getting tired and starting to feel like I don't really want to read anymore, but I'm already committed and I'm too far into this now. I'm no quitter. I am not gonna quit. I need a quick read that will wake me up, maybe by weirding me out, who knows. But I decided to pick up Paradais by Fernanda Melchor. Everything I've learned about this so far sounds like I'm in for a ride. We'll see how this goes.
And how could I forget the way you looked at me like an enemy? Oh, I could barely breathe. I thought things would get better, but it's taken forever. Will we ever be the same? Why does this feel so wrong? I said goodbye, but I can't move on, and I'm the only one to blame.
It is 7:40 now. I have been reading for almost 10 hours. So last time when I checked in with you, I was reading Paradais, and since then I have made and had my dinner. And then a little plot twist. I finished The Housekeeper and the Professor. I don't know if you can see, but there's a little tear still a little wet on my shirt because this made me cry a little. So I know that earlier I said I was saving this for the wholesomeness, and then this book came in, attacked me, and I had to go back to this. I'll tell you about this one first. So overall, I really enjoyed this. It is very wholesome, very sweet. The ending was very moving. An elderly person losing their memory has always been like a soft spot for me. I've always had that fear with myself and my family, so that part really hit me. Other than that, I think my favorite part in this is the part about math. So many beautiful things were said about mathematics as a form of art and eternal truth. The professor refers to all the solutions to the problems as God's notebook because they've always been there. We're just peeking into God's notebook. My favorite is this one. The mathematical order is beautiful precisely because it has no effect on the real world. The only goal is to discover the truth. Eternal truths are ultimately invisible, and you won't find them in material things or natural phenomena, or even in human emotions. Mathematics, however, can illuminate them, can give them expression. In fact, nothing can prevent it from doing so. So I think any math lover would really love this book. I would say the rest of the book is pretty good but not groundbreaking. Okay, and then the book that made me go back to my wholesomeness, Paradais. Oh my god. This book is exhausting to read. It has very long chapters. I am now 2/3 through the book and I've just reached the end of the second chapter. Not only there are not a lot of chapters, there's hardly any paragraph breaks either. So like the words just run on and on and on. It just feels like I'm running out of breath. The story itself is also a lot. This is set in a luxury housing complex or neighborhood, and we follow these two teenage boys. One of them is called Franco. He is this spoiled rich kid who is obsessed with women, like women's bodies. And his latest obsession is over this married woman in this luxury neighborhood who has like a millionaire husband and 2 kids. And then the other main character is called Polo. He is the representative of poverty. He is hired as a gardener in this neighborhood, but he has been feeling really trapped in his life. He doesn't own anything under his name. He thinks his life is unsufferable, but he doesn't see a way out. So they kind of formed this relationship where Franco would buy them alcohol and cigarettes, and then they'll get together and Polo would let Franco talk about his very graphic fantasies over this woman. They're not friends, they don't like each other, they're just there because they can get something that they want and they can't get anywhere else. The language is pretty violent and nasty, and I'm currently a little scared because I have a feeling that they are stirring up some shenanigans that is probably going to happen in the last 40 pages. So I'm not sure if I'm mentally prepared enough, but I'm gonna do it. Let's just finish this one.
How could I forget that day? It's burned into my memory, and it will never leave.
Hi, I finished this. I was right. Something happened in the last chapter that felt like an explosion. This overall is a pretty dark, violent tale about class, race, privileges. It also shows how societal or family dynamics shape kids or teenagers and how far desperate people are willing to go. I'm trying to get the images out of my head because this is very graphic. In that way, I guess it's pretty good writing. I don't know what else to say. If you are interested in picking this up, make sure you check the content warnings. There's a lot of violence. I also saw a review that says, I feel like I need a shower after reading this book. And that very accurately describes how I'm feeling right now. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. It is currently 8:43. Since it's the night time, I thought it would be perfect to read this. I really hope a shower and this book can help me get over the one I just read. So I think I'll just get in bed and read until I fall asleep. I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning. Guess who overslept? Not me. Yeah, it was me. It is 8:29 now. Yeah, I'm pretty upset, but it is what it is. So I read 4 chapters, which are 83 pages of this one last night. I was really enjoying it. This is exactly what I'm craving, what I need right now. I have been craving this kind of contemporary city life midlife crisis kind of book, and this is giving me that. So in this one, we follow our narrator Ryuko. She is a freelance proofreader, so it's different from editor. She just does the proofreading and correct the typos, making sure every word is used correctly. She is really bad at socializing, so she's kind of navigating this very bland life. It's just work, eat, sleep, repeat. And one day when she was wandering around Tokyo, she saw her own reflection from a storefront window, and what she saw is a miserable woman. So we're now with her on her way to do something about her life. This reads so beautiful. I've never read Miko Kawakami before. Her writing is so wonderful. It is kind of subtle and quiet, and it just fits that dull life of our narrators really well. I connected with the main character, Fuyuko, almost immediately. Like, I already have all these tabs, and every time when she's talking about some of her feelings, I'm like, I get you. Like, I annotated here, I don't know if you can see this, but I said, are you me? The way she is awkward, uncomfortable with strangers, and her always being careful, talking with other people, always sensitive about what other people might think of her, trying not to offend anybody, but have this huge envy towards confident women who can say what they want to say and who can always lead the conversations or the situations the way they want. So I really want to finish this book in this vlog. We have an hour and a half to go until 10 a.m. But even if I have to go beyond that, I might do that.
Was I a fool to walk away? Did love slip right through my hands? I don't want to think about you, but baby I still do. Baby I still do.
My wonderful husband just delivered my coffee. Life's good. Why is this part about her school life giving me normal people vibes? I don't like it. I read for another 37 minutes and finished this. I kind of don't know what to say right now other than a sigh. The words themselves on these last pages just feel like a very long, heavy sigh. I really loved this. I felt so much connection in this one. It's so quiet from beginning to end. It's so subtle. The entire time you just feel like you're looking at this picture of a very big city at night with all these colorful lights, and then people are just here and there in the shadows. Everybody is so small, so insignificant, and nobody is really a main character. Everyone is messy and alone in their own way, no matter how they present themselves to others. The writing is so gorgeous. This is how this book opens. Why does the night have to be so beautiful? As I walked through the night, I remember what Mitsutsuka said to me, because at night, only half the world remains. If I knew earlier this is what Miko Kawakami's writing sounds like, I would have picked up her works way earlier. I think I'm gonna give this 4.5 stars, but depending on how much I think about this book in the next few days, I might bump it up to a 5-star. This is so beautifully done. So we have officially done my very first 24-hour readathon. I am so excited. I added up all the pages I read in 24 hours, and It came to 603 pages. So I'm really not a very fast reader, but that's okay. I had a lot of fun. I think it's helpful with my attention span because when I dedicate one day to only reading, I don't get distracted by other things like whether or not I should go do laundry now or should I just watch a YouTube video instead of reading. So it was a fantastic experience just focusing my eyes and my brain on these words on paper. So I really had a wonderful time. And also it's so rewarding to read women in translation. I loved these books except for Paradais. That is just not really my cup of tea, but I definitely understand it has its own audience and some people would find this as a gem. But these other three, so good. I'm so glad. I think my favorite has to be All the Lovers in the Night, and then Elena Knows, and then The Housekeeper and The Professor. But these are all very beautiful and unique in their own way. Also, look how beautiful they look together. Just looking at them makes me so happy. Okay, I'll stop rambling and just sign you off here. Go read Women in Translation books. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you a lot. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Stay hydrated, get some electrolyte in you, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.